Welcome to another Rapid Review. Today's episode, Ratchet Clank PS4. It's a remake. Kinda. And let's begin. Ratchet Clank PS4 is what you get when you combine Ratchet Clank PS2 with the upcoming Ratchet Clank movie. And by the end of this, I'm gonna really hate saying the phrase Ratchet Clank. In the simplest way I can describe it, Ratchet PS4 is a remastering of the PS2 classic. The game retells the origin story of Ratchet & Clank's initial meeting and ultimate goal of stopping Chairman Drek from destroying the galaxy. Albeit, this time, the story is actually being told from Captain Quark's perspective. Being the egotistical narcissist that he is, he comments quite often during the adventure, and it's pretty humorous.
They're making a game based on a holofilm based on my life? But they haven't even consulted me!
If you've played a game in the series before, you kinda know how all this works. Ratchet is essentially the ultimate game of running and gunning. The latter of which features a wide assortment of over-the-top weapons that level up as you use them, along with having optional modifications unlockable by collecting raritanium shards, as well as some gadgets that are used to solve a few puzzles or explore more of the world around you. And exactly as anticipated, it is incredibly addictive. And even then, there are still a few moments where you're not as Ratchet that pop up pretty frequently to keep the adventure feeling fresh. In terms of level design, a large chunk of it is exactly as you remember, which is both good and bad. While there are a few changes to returning levels, it isn't until the final moments of the game where you get thrown into areas that are completely new. And along with the weapons, most of which are returning as well, there's this sense of discovery that's lacking until the near end of the game. It's still a ton of fun, obviously, don't get me wrong, but the deja vu is definitely strong here. Although there is a gun that turns enemies into pixels, so that's pretty rad. Some planets even got completely cut, however, it manages to still be about as long as a typical Ratchet game at about 15 hours or so no real worries there. Unfortunately, I do have an issue with the game, and it's in regards to how tame the character progression and interactions are compared to the original. One of my favorite parts of the original, and, well, the entire series, is the extremely large and colorful cast of characters, and here, it's really not even close. Chairman Drek has nowhere near as much time in the spotlight, making him seem like a much weaker villain. Ratchet and Clank are instant buddies from the beginning, with no real developments between the two. And moments with characters like Skid McMarx and Big Al just seem so stale. And some characters like the War General and an incredibly odd choice, Helga, are nowhere to be seen. Not to say the original game excelled in storytelling, but this version is so stuck to relying on the movie's plot, which I'm sure will be perfectly fine by the way, there is a noticeable lack of effort in fleshing out characters. Like, a big aspect of the story are the Galactic Rangers, and I couldn't tell you anything about them. They even got rid of the, never mind. On the other hand, however, holy crap, this is one of the most beautiful looking games I've ever seen in my entire life. I can't even really properly explain it. You can see it. The entire game looks astonishingly good. Insomniac Games may have accidentally created the best looking platformer yet. Oops. When there is a ton of bolts on screen and they all fly into you at once, oh, it feels good. I think the combination of iffy character development and just pure, total nostalgia make me still prefer the original, but even still, as a remastering of that title, and even more so as technically a movie-based game, Ratchet & Clank PS4 is fantastic. Spoilers, if you're not already well aware, like every mainline Ratchet game is fantastic and just pure fun in the purest form. So, of course, this follows the same suit. Easy recommendation, without a doubt, thumbs up. Just don't do what I did and play the game non-stop in a 10-hour sitting. I really wish I was lying about that, but the game is really fun. Oops.